Howdy everyone, Pocher here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're doing the hero spotlight for the Rogue of the Van North, Ulfren. Now I don't have access to his stat page like I normally do, but we'll go over the basic stuff and then we'll jump into the arena, look at his abilities, test them, and have a little bit of a fun fight against the Cloud Wanderers. So overall, at fully maxed out, we're looking at 8.7 million HP, just shy of 8.8 million. Speed 257, which is really decent, but as we progress through the game's life, we find that this speed is starting to become kind of the average. There's a few heroes lately that have had pretty decent speeds around this mark, where, you know, a few months ago, this speed would have been insane on just any character brought out. But now we're seeing more and more. So, yeah. And max power, when he's completely maxed out, is looking at 53,645. So, I mean, it's just a number. The only thing this matters is for players who are trying to keep a lower max power so they have easier brackets in tournament. That's about it. And again, they're not really concerned about the maxed out number. They're concerned about the number they get along the way when they're gearing up and starring up. So yeah, it is what it is. So we'll jump into the arena now. Again, we'll look at the abilities, both normal and awakened. We'll look at the animations, talk about how they could be used, and then jump into a fight against Cloud Wanderers, skill 7 and skill 8. So let's get into it. So moving into the arena, we have Ulfren's basic Ice Fangs, deals damage to one target. If Ulfren is hidden, he deals critical damage. This damage is increased by 20% per allied van. Look at the awakened version of it. Ability damage is increased by 35%. So like most heroes, their basic just gets a boost to damage. We'll go ahead and look at the animation. This is not the awakened version, but we're just looking at the animation. That's all we're really interested in. There we go, nice little 600k damage. So 600k against Chicken Boy, who is like one of the tankiest boys in the game, bar Siegfried. So yeah, there you go. That is the basic, pretty straightforward. Let's move on to his next ability. Looking at Ulfren's second ability, we have Blinding Snow. If all the allies are Vanir, he inflicts blindness on all enemies for 2 turns. The accuracy of blinded enemies is reduced to 0. Cast the 3 effects preventing dodging on all enemies. 1 stack is removed each time damage is taken, except dot debuffs. If Ulfren is hidden, he casts the 3 effects increasing damage taken by 40% on all enemies. 1 stack is removed each time damage is taken, except dot debuffs. Now let's go ahead and look at the awakening version of this. Puts a Vanir race mark on all enemies, increases the damage that can be taken by enemies, misses a turn if the enemy is stunned. This is not the right wording. What this means is there's another part of his kit later on where he can apply a debuff that prevents initiative increase. If he hits an enemy with that debuff, then they will miss a turn. That's what that means. So that's poor wording. It will be rectified. But yeah, it doesn't make sense otherwise. So otherwise, this is a pretty decent utility ability. It's adding a lot. In the case of Ulfren, you can see where his last ability is locked. You want to use his skills 1, 2, and then 3. So from left to right, where in most cases you want to use right to left on a hero. It's reversed in this case. He is a decent utility and support hero, and as you can see, he excels in, I guess, debuffing and controlling the enemy. So we'll go ahead and look at the animation of the ability. Remember, it is not the awakened version, so he casts a nice little snowy glow across the field, applies the accuracy decrease, which is huge. Accuracy decrease is really good in Cradle of Chaos and raids. It prevents the AI from using their special abilities because the AI calculates that they're not going to hit. They revert to using their basic. So really good with AI manipulation. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, really nice ability. I really like it. Moving on to Ulfren's third ability, Rattle of Shackles. If Ulfren has been hidden, he removes this effect from himself and fills his initiative by 50%. So getting ready to cast the next ability. Cast vulnerability on all enemies for 3 turns. So it allows you to attack past taunt. Increases his dealable damage by 25%. So gives himself an attack damage buff as well. Looking at the awakened version, when a hidden target is hit, the initiative is filled to 100%. Dealable damage is also increased to 35% from 25%. So again, it's setting him up. So his second ability and third ability are setting up the team. We'll go ahead and look at the animations. Remember, this is not awakened. And as you can see, boom, nice little snowy shake, I guess. and again setting him up for the attack next, and benefits if the enemy is hidden as well. He would get a 100% initiative increase from that ever. Remember, it's not awakened though, so he would be ready to cast his damaging ability now, which we'll go into now. Moving on to Ulfren's third ability, we have Bloody Fury. Strikes all enemies twice in a row. The damage from each hit is increased by 10% per living enemy. This ability cannot miss or be dodged. Hides Ulfren for 4 turns. Moving on to the Awakened version, attack damage is increased by 10%, has a 50% chance to stun targets for 2 turns. Stun targets cannot get bonus initiative. So that's what I was talking about with that other ability. It's a debuff that prevents them from getting initiative. It doesn't actually stun them. If he uses that other ability while they have this debuff, then they will miss a turn. So keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and look at the animation now. Again, not awakened. So if it's not doing something mentioned here, don't worry about it. We're just here to see the animation. So yeah, wolves jump across the field, deal nice damage. Remember, he's got a damage buff as well. And I mean, I guess that's really good damage considering that the Cloud Wanderers actually have a lot of HP. So not horrible at all. So that is his Bloody Fury, and now we'll move into his passive. Moving into Ulfren's passive, Source Guardian. At the start of each round, Ulfren hides for 4 turns. So he starts the battle off hidden. Magic Absorption. Now this is the new thing that all Van Norths have. Every time an enemy tries to cast a buff or debuff with an ability, they have a 10% chance of failing. The chance is calculated for every effect. When an allied Van absorbs an enemy effect, Ulfren counterattacks that enemy. Counterattack damage is increased by 10% per absorbed effect. While Ulfren is hidden, his fortitude is increased by 50%. Oh, 50, not 50%, 50. In Cradle of Chaos, Ulfren resets this special ability cooldown at the start of each round. So he's getting a little bit of a bonus in Cradle of Chaos. And looking at the Awakened version, the ability cooldown is also reset in raids. Hidden Ulfren's counter-attack damage and fortify are increased if Ulfren is not hidden. His attacks have a 50% chance of ignoring armor. So now he's becoming more usable in raids as well, which is really good. I love it when they do bonus things outside of PvP. It gives the hero more use. Magic Absorption, for those that are unaware, is a trait that all Van Norths have. And the way it works is every time a buff is applied to the enemy or a debuff is applied to you, there's a 10% chance per Van North to check that and eradicate it, prevent it from happening. Now, the good thing about Magic Absorption, even though it's a small percent, only one Van North needs to check it and pass, and then the other Van Norths will benefit from that. So as you can see, Ulfren doesn't need to get the pass on cancelling the buff or debuff for this to work. An ally can also cancel or prevent, and he will benefit from it. So it's good. They all work off each other, but it is a very small, it's a 10% chance. It's 10% small, but it happens multiple times over the whole team. So very, very interesting faction. I think very strong. Ulfren, though, as a rogue, not super efficient in damage. He does decent damage, but overall he's more of a support unit, I believe, giving, accuracy decrease to the enemy, bonus damage taken to the enemy, buffs himself, and his damage can prevent initiative increase and can, of course, force an enemy to miss a turn if they have that initiative protection protection on them. So yeah, very, very interesting hero. But now we'll jump into a battle. We'll do skill 7 versus skill 7, and then we'll do skill 8 versus skill 8. So let's get into it. Okay, so jumping into battle, this is at a level 7 versus level 7 standpoint. So we'll go ahead and use our 3rd on our Freyhel, our 2nd on our Ulfren. Get some nice debuffs, and we're going to use our abilities. Can't name them. We're just going to have to use them. You're going to have to trust me. A little bit of faith in the old pole show. Trust me. Okay, we get some checks there. Beautiful. Pretty decent damage so far. Big damage from, well, not really big damage at all, really. Roxanne, what was that? As light as a feather, you might say. Okay, continuing with the fight. We're going to wait till we finally get a turn. Should be coming around any second now. Get some checks there. Beautiful. What does this do? Yeah, it's alright. We'll just use our second there. Okay, now we're going to buff ourselves. Get ready for the big attack on the next turn. Okay. There's a check there. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're going to use some AoE here. And should be able to kill 2 targets here with Ulfren. Roxanne and Astoria should die. Oh, and Theodore. Nice. Okay. You're probably wondering, why did Evan not resurrect? Don't worry about it. It's not a bug. Just calm down. Okay, we go there for the club smash. Double strike. Beautiful. Just got to work through this tanky chicken boy. Should just use my basic there. It's fine. Accuracy decrease. And should get the kill. Kill. Yeah, nice. Chicken down. And let's just use basic there. Beautiful. Well done. Perfect fight. Almost. No, I think that is full HP. There you go. That is level 7. So we'll jump into level 8 versus level 8 now. Okay, so jumping into battle. Now, this is at Awakened. So we'll see how the battle plays out. So we're going to go ahead and use our initiative reset with Freyhel. And then we are going to apply. It doesn't apply the mark because of the Awakened skills. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and use our AoE there. And we get the check. The debuffs are not applied to us. Beautiful. Okay. Out comes the AoE again. Takes some damage from Ranfort, but so far so good. We're going to go ahead and now we are going to... Lots of turns. That's fine. We get the check again. We get the check out. Now it's our turn. We can only attack Ranfort. That's fine. We use our attacks on him. Beautiful. Take a bit of damage on the old tank there. It's all right. When we finally get some turns, that's going to... Right, we lose the tank. That's okay. We use our AoE. We use whatever that ability does. Okay, now we get some damage out. Wonderful. Pretty decent damage. We go ahead, get some more AoE. We take out Theodore. That's wonderful. I don't think there's much more they can do at this point. With no Resurrect and some other stuff that's happening behind the scenes, yeah, there's not much the Cloud Wanderers can do. They lose chicken. We can go ahead and take out Astoria here. We're going to buff ourselves accuracy. They're asleep. We get to AoE again and take out the whole team. But there you go. Wonderful. We lost the tank there, but that's fine. I mean, everyone's still at full HP. I feel like with a bit of... and that losing that tank would be RNG dependent as well, simply because there's probably some checks that we didn't get. But overall, decimated. There wasn't much. I wasn't worried at all at any part of that fight. And overall, pretty solid faction. I think it's just the RNG with the checks that you got to watch out for. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever you're on the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.